Hi, this is Dr. Steve G. Jones, clinical hypnotherapist and self-made millionaire. You're watching Total Money Magnetism, and today we're going to get into the 4 different ways that you can become rich. Not only that, I'll show you how to act and think like a millionaire so you can start attracting massive wealth into your life. And by the way, feel free to share your thoughts and stories in the comments below. All right, so let's get into it. Pretty much everyone wants to become rich, but most of them don't know how to actually make it happen. Some think it's just a matter of plain old luck, like winning the lottery or being born into a rich family. Luck does have a little bit to do with it, but 99% of the time, it's about taking action at the right moment and hoping for the best. And at the core of it, getting rich starts with developing the skills and having the patience to see it through. And you can improve that through some essential habits that will create a wealthier future for you and your family. Ready? Here we go. Let's start with number 1. Number 1 is don't spend recklessly. So the first step is not to spend recklessly. Rich people, at least the ones who've been rich for decades, understand this principle very well. A lot of people think that being a millionaire is a license to go crazy with the spending and going through tons of cash without a second thought. In the real world, though, millionaires are super responsible about their spending habits because it's how they stay rich. So, here's the truth. Having more money means having more responsibility. And if you can't be responsible today, how can you expect to grow your wealth and stay that way in the future? That said, rich people don't waste their money on silly things. It's not that they can't afford it, but they'd rather spend their money on something that has value and will pay itself off later on. For example, assets, whether physical or not, help the rich make even more money down the road. So take some time to figure out if you've got some financial vampires that are draining your budget. It could be stuff like booze and cigarettes, or paying first class when you could have flown business or coach, or expensive designer clothes, maybe a flashy car, and so on. Cars in particular can be a sore spot in your financial life. For one thing, it's a depreciating asset, so you'll want to rethink investing your money into something like this. While it's important that you get from point A to point B comfortably, you can only spend so much on a car before it becomes a white elephant. Beyond basic maintenance and repairs, you should avoid putting more money into assets like these. All right, let's move on to the next one. Number 2, running a tight budget. Number 2 is run a tight budget. This complements the first tip, and it's kind of like the other side of the same coin. Now, I'm not telling you to get by on ramen noodles or something drastic like that just to save a few bucks. I mean, while it's important to save money, I don't want you to be miserable either. However, you do need to streamline your expenditures and keep your finances running as smoothly as possible. So it's wise to remove those potential snags in your budget as early as now. That way, you'll give yourself some wiggle room to enjoy the simple pleasures in life. The first thing you need to do is get a handle on your spending habits, which begins by putting payments on autopilot. Doing this gives you a much clearer idea of where your money goes every month, which in turn gives you better control over your spending. Take credit card bills, for instance. You can figure out how much you'd like to pay every month, like the minimum repayment amount, plus a little extra so you don't get hammered with interest fees. And you should repeat this process with your other items in your budget, like rent, utilities, a savings fund, investments, and an emergency fund. And once you set this up, you're free to live your life as best you can. Better yet, you can work on raising your income without having those nagging thoughts in the back of your mind. Speaking of which, that brings us to our next point, which is number 3, starting a business. Okay, the third way to get rich is by starting a business, even if you're working for someone else. Trading your time for money isn't the only way to earn a living. Sure, it does pay the bills, but getting to the next level is really about leveraging your time and using it to generate more income. So you should work on building another stream of income aside from your paycheck. And in time, it can even replace your day job if you get good at it. Here are a few things to keep in mind. Think about the things you're good at or passionate about and build on those skills to launch a business. There are plenty of freelancing websites where you can hire other people to make your work faster and generate more income. This is what I meant when I mentioned leveraging your time. Start off small, like providing a service or a product as a one-person team. Once you start getting repeat customers, that's when you can afford to automate your business by hiring other people. So you can do this while you're working your day job. Even if it's challenging at first, it's doable. In today's hyper-connected world, it's easier than ever to connect with millions of potential customers. This puts you in an excellent position to increase your income exponentially. Just imagine tapping into a particular market like 10,000 people, for example. Now imagine if each of them paid $10 for something you made. That would be $100,000 in the bank. Now, it might take time to get to this level, sure, but if you start working on something now, you can scale it over time and boost your income sooner. All right, now let's check out the last tip, which is tip number 4, invest in yourself. Number 4 is to invest in yourself. Rich people believe in the power of growth and evolution. This is why they don't hesitate to spend on things that help them improve in some way. On a basic level, being rich is about being in a position to help other people, and this starts by helping yourself first. People who invest in training courses to upgrade their skills, for example, can double or triple their income producing potential. And being excellent at what you do sets you apart from everyone else. Being on top of your game makes you more valuable in other people's eyes. And that has a direct effect on your ability to make money. Every millionaire I know is obsessed with their work, and that's a huge part of what makes them rich. And so being wealthy is about developing your money-making skills and leveraging that to your advantage. As it happens, I've got a new ebook called The Skill of Money Magnetism, which shows you 6 critical skills that all millionaires have. It's available now, and you can get it for free by going to www.totalmoneymagnetism.com/skill. I highly recommend you check it out while it's still up so that you can start learning the skills that you need to jumpstart your income as early as now. So that's www.totalmoneymagnetism.com/skill. Remember, the sooner you invest in yourself, the quicker you can attract massive wealth. This is Dr. Steve G. Jones, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for watching.